icons. Frankly, you've been showing me you want to talk for a while as the light steps up, but On and Yagao should be able to walk away.
Yeah, so what I want to answer after a draft like that and Genji picking red side is, was this worth it? Do you feel like being on red side gave you what you wanted? And it's gonna be like, no, not really. I don't think that this is really making use of a lot of the powers of red side, right? Being able to get good lane matchups so that at the very least you're gonna be able to consistently bully. Because Ben getting Huni is actually costing here in the arena as well, and I'm 100% certain he's giving his thumbs up. You know, Ben going for the ignite here. I do think that is definitely the right call. Gives you so much more kill threat, but like, so that matchup is very Rumble favored. Then Shun, after a insanely good game, is on Jarvan again. Yagao died once, and then outside of that was just a very consistent Orianna. And you get Aphelios again with Nelio, which is okay, but it's not like you're going to be able to bully the Xayah and Renata lane. So I don't know if the red side gambit really worked out thus far. BLG have so many power picks.
I love the question that you asked, Mao, because I think it's a really constructive way to look at it. And I think back to game one, and what were the issues with Genji's composition? Well, in terms of early game, I didn't really think that there were many issues. Peanut was going toe-to-toe, he was finding a couple of advantages, but they did fall short in the top lane 1 versus 1. Okay, that's fine, and they were struggling due to the pressure that happened on the bot side of that. Going into the mid-game, their engage was a problem. They only had Peanut's Rel to actually start fights for them, and the problem with Aphelios Azir is it's hard for them to really find opportunities by themselves. So coming into this game, I was thinking in the same line of like, well, do they now have different things? And the reality is that, okay, they have an Aatrox flank, which you could argue is a little bit more threatening than that of a Jax. But the Maokai ultimate is something that, while offering zone control, I'm not entirely sure if it's necessarily that stronger of an engage. So I'm still concerned with Genji's ability to actually find fights as we approach the mid-game. As you'll see BLG once again have priority top, they have priority bot, while mid-range wants to be.
One thing the Genji composition does do well is disengage if they need to. Maokai ultimate, the Meteor, and obviously is there. So if BLG do overstep for a fight, we could see that with a handshake on Pays in the bottom lane. Warm hugs from Delight, that shield coming out, keeping Pays topped up around 300 health. The heal early here as they look for the chase. Elk and On both have their flashes. Elk already invested a ghost flash forward, twisted advance, knocked back onto On. And Genji played to this tune in game one. The bait coming out and all will be brought back. And now Delight is back across the menu and Elk can turn it around. Don't pass for him. It's going to be two, but a great flash from Delight. Does escape. From Elk, 2 kills to BLG in the bottom lane.
This bottom lane is terrifying. Wow, what a play from On. The fact that they just said, focus Peanut, and then he brought him back into range of Elk to get that execution. If nothing else, they were going to get a 1-for-1. They turned it into 2-1. Now BLG look for the dive.
When he tries to flash away, but the chase is there, and the ignite is ticking, being taken. The tower shot can flash away. Peanut trying to answer as well, but he can't face the might of BLG's top and jungle.
He just doesn't have the damage available. He's still level 3, and in the short span of 4 minutes, Bin's ahead. We have Hayes. Yeah, he got a kill, but he's facing Elk, who got out of the gangway help here, picked up 2 kills, and everything is on fire for Genji. Only 4.5 minutes in, they're 2k gold down. And even with Peanut investing the resources, the bot lane gang backfires. And on top side, he's unable to save Doran.
At MSI, it was all about Elk and Big. It was all about these two coming up clutch, and we're going to watch back. Keep your eyes on for the most part. He's going to burn an early flash. The moment that they see that, Peanut commits the flash as well. But look what they do. The ignite and the damage gets dropped onto Peanut. Then the bailout goes on to On, keeping him alive long enough to assist Elk in getting that kill. Then the flash committed from Elk. Delight does the smart thing in trying to flash away, but a nice snipe from the Q means that Elk walks away with a double. And the light goes out for On.
And that is what this BLG bot lane can do to you. I think at MSI we questioned whether Elk would have a few happy moments known for them. A little bit over-eager at times to find a good play. Since then, he has been so consistent. He's been such an integral part of the 15-1 record that BLG maintained through the regular season. Jun here smites away. On is looking for a little bit more. They can harass.
No flash,
Hayes
Peanut.
has flash though. They look for Peanut. The handshake's going to pull him back. And Peanut, even in the cozy campfire, will find nothing but death and despair. Pays now chased away, has the flash to get across the wall. They try and turn onto Shun, but Pays has to burn his flash as Chovy goes in, but Shun won't even before the bailout was on him, wouldn't have revived him, but BLG are just outplaying Genji.
And it's the same mistake that Genji made last time, but this time it backfires even more. They go all in, trying to contest. Chovy isn't level 6 yet, needs to finish his back, then teleport towards the bot side turret just to try and be a part of that play. And now Elk is free in 0, and the Drake goes over to BLG.
Now, what is Genji doing right now? We saw it in the previous game. They tried to fight the second Herald, and they ended up falling. They're trying to fight this dragon rather than potentially looking for a cross map. You talked about how this is something that they have often struggled with, but expectations are so high. I thought this Genji is different, but the pressure, it feels like that it's beginning to mount for Genji.
And this would be the third time in a row that this team under-delivers, right? They've been the #1 seed from the LCK for 3 years. I think finals last year, or semi-finals rather, it's understandable. DRX, their run was insane. They lost to the eventual world champion, and even though I think they struggled with a lot of the same issues. That's one thing. Then BLG smashing them 3-0 after being the mega underdogs at MSI. That one was and felt backbreaking, but if they would go down in the same way the third time in a row, it would be a disaster for this Genji, who domestically again have been the most consistent team in the LCK over the last 2 years. Even though they didn't win Spring in 2022, it was them fighting against T1, and right now we're seeing nothing. BLG are just outplaying them on every front in the early game here.
And although BLG had a few hiccups in the playoffs over in the LPL, he continued to impress. There's the equalizer down as Doran walks out with the world end of those wings. Can only carry him back to the safety of his tower. Thought for Genji as well, like, you're in Korea, man. You're in Busan, in front of your home crowd, and you are struggling. The weight of expectation grows ever stronger. As Delight force low, Ignite ticking on him, but he'll be able to walk away. Shun has been spotted on this ward, though. Peanut's trying to answer, still only level 5. Shun knows it. Those little cats, the saplings, spotting him out, but all he really wants to do is make sure Elkanon can continue to push in. A Kraken Slayer was finished at 6.5 minutes in this game for the Xayah.
Guys,
and there's another fight to BLG. Plays is fine, but probably doesn't feel it in the game right now.
I mean, the damage is already done, right? Because you have a composition that I'd argue in scaling and ease of execution favors BLG. Very straightforward to play. Obviously, you can jostle a little bit. Rather, there are a lot of elements on Genji, the Azir and the Aphelios, and I think the Milio helps a little bit. But like, if the enemy is sitting on a Kraken Slayer while Pays is sitting on Berserker Greaves and have done Cole, that's not going to be enough. The amount of blade load going over is immense, and Genji look even more lost in this game than they were in the last one.
My concern for Genji is, if Pays doesn't have flash, how does he survive a fight?
Yeah,
that's
no
the
Tom
neat
Kench
thing.
he
doesn't.
In game 1, the whole idea behind the Tom Kench in the Jarvan trade was that you could take Pays away to safety, but this time around, it's going to be a different story. Of course, Genji already find themselves at a massive deficit, 3k gold down, and huge credit to BLG. They've had so many question marks surrounding them. They fell short of LG in the LPL. The tournament run has not been even remotely great. Right, they struggled against the European teams. Fnatic, they had a difficult early game. They had to find a big team fight to come back into that game. And then against G2, they looked very convincing for the large part outside of losing game 2. Doran now going for a bit of a trade, nice trade against
Peanut's
Bin.
on his way with the Nature's Grasp as well, but you can see Shun ready to react. Bin booted up, Shun is on his way, the equalizer down, and Dorman's burning. Bin trying to turn it around, and Dorman will fall first, and Peanut's buried next to his brother as BLG strike.
Bin just refuses to fall. The man in the top lane, touted as one of, if not the best top laner in the world, finds a double kill with the help of his jungler. 6-1 in kills. 4.5k is the gold lead, and we're only 10 minutes in.
And yeah, there it is, the featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. Doran versus Bane. It's not close. This is the power of that Ignite Rumble, right? Especially against something like an Aatrox, which with enough time can sustain through the initial burst of most champions. Bin starts off with the Ignite very early on. Is able to flash out of door and trying to set up for Peanut. And then Peanut door, no, like we're already all in. We gotta try and make this work. But Shun with perfect timing, able to counter the play. And Gen G, they're not getting anything.